What does the world not understand of what it takes for a bodybuilder to become Mr. Olympia, that champion on stage, all the sacrifice behind the scenes? What does the world not really know about what happens behind the scenes to get there?
Well, it takes a level of commitment, a super level of commitment, as I'm sure Dorian explained while he was being interviewed and so forth. And by the way, Dorian is a great friend of mine. He's an incredible athlete, also an incredible competitor, during my era. So I have the greatest of respect for him. I mean, so we know what it takes to get there, and the discipline that goes into it and the stick-to-itness, it's a whole nother level. But such as that in any professional top-level athletes, there's a lot of professional athletes, but the ones that on the top of the ladder, the top of the chain, they're cut from a sort of a different type of mold. The commitment there, the commitment to diet, the commitment to time management, commitment to making sure where you need to be and doing what you need to do and not making excuses. There's a lot of athletes, they can find excuses as to why they're not committed to a specific thing, why I wasn't as good and well, it's okay to be second or third place. Well, hardcore nitty gritty athletes like myself or Dorian Yates, we don't feel good about second place. Second place in our book is for nothing but losers. We care about nothing but first place. And what does it take to get there? That's what a true top level champion mindset is all about.
Yeah, I remember asking Dorian, how did he celebrate when he won Mr. Olympia? And he said, what do you mean celebrate? He said, I was supposed to win. I went home that night and I started training the next day.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. You have your meal. Okay. You went to work. You've been working for the last several months. Guess what? You got a raise. You get paid. You be smart with your investments, use your money wisely. Then you back to work the next couple of days. You give the body a little time to recover. Okay, now we back to work. But the other thing too is this thing inside of you, once you become number one, you don't want to lose that position. You don't want to lose that spotlight. So you're thinking ahead of time as to how do I stay here? What do I need to do differently than what I've done before to keep me here? Let me look at this training. Let me look at this nutrition. Let me analyze this supplementation. Let me do all of those things. It's going to keep me on the top, because when you're on the top, there's nowhere else to go but down. You got a lot of guys snapping at your heels. They're looking to take your place. So as a true champion, you want to make sure that don't happen. So you take your butt to work the next day.
It's very different from becoming the champion to staying the champion, to staying on top of that hill, because everybody wants a piece of that. And you got to get even better in order to hold that, right?
Yeah, that's true. And that's where it can get a little dicey, because you can tend to overtrain, which is, one of the statements that I adhere to is training to stimulate, not annihilate. It's easy to overtrain and not give the body enough time to recover when your mindset is that. So you really have to step back and balance it out and don't overload the systems, which I've been guilty of doing that. And of course, Dorian has been guilty of doing that. That's why he sustained some injuries during his training debut. Listen, when you're up there, you want to do everything you can to stay up there. And in doing so, you can actually do more harm than you can good. But hey, that's the price you pay for being a gladiator. We're not regular people. No top athlete is a regular person, which sometimes when I hear regular people like commentators make comments, well, he should have did this and that. I'm like, listen at these guys. They are not in our shoes. They don't know what it feels like to run or jump or to lift or your heart is about to jump out of your chest. They know nothing of that. Gladiators, at least in times past, they fought to the death in arenas. That's what they did. That's how they're made. That's their psyche. So, but thank God today we have referees, we have restrictions and guidelines so they don't end up destroying ourselves or destroying those in which we compete against. So that's the only thing that changes is what's have the outcome. We have guidelines and we have restrictions. Other than that, that gladiator mindset still exists and will always exist in top level athletes. We are testosterone monsters. We're not guys who sit behind a desk and with a pencil or a typewriter. That's not who we are. Gladiators are gladiators. That's what top level professional athletes are. And it's, oh no, he's acting a certain way. Wait a minute, he acts a certain way because he geared a certain way.